Okay, ITS 224, Chapter 7, Linux Part 2. So the first part talked a lot about tests, running tests, and returning the answers to test conditions. A 0 for true, 1 for false. Now, the next this next part is just using some of the additional commands. TR for translate, sed, which is a stream editor, and something else. So let's go ahead and start with translate. Excuse me. What we're doing with translate is, first off, we can go ahead and change what a file looks like by using translate. So it'll actually feed counters, or in this case zoo2 in, and then if it sees a small a, it will change it to a large A. So the command would look like tr space a-z space a small a-z, a large a-z, and then feed zoo2 into it. So you can do any kinds of you can feed any file that you want to into this particular command. So let's do that. Tr. Now there's some variations with this command. You can use the square brackets or not. So I'll go ahead initially use the square brackets. A to Z. That's what it is now. A to Z. And then we're going to feed zoo2 into it. Okay, so it changed all the letters to uppercase. If we compare that to what the original file is, it's all there's a mixture of uppercase and lowercase in the original file. Now, remember, it's important to remember that when you're feeding this file into it and you get this output, that doesn't change your original. You have to redirect the output to zoo5, to zoo4, I suppose, and then cat zoo4. And that's created that new file. Okay, the next is, now remember in this zoo2 file as well, you have all these colons in here, so it's a delimited format. You can change that by using the zoo2, cat zoo2, and then feeding this piping translate pipes into spaces. Okay, so we'll do that. Cat zoo2, so we'll display it on the screen, and then translate, and then the colon, because, oh, sorry, there we go, to a space. And we can see the colons have now been replaced by spaces. And then, of course, then you can redirect that output into another file. Next is using sed. Okay, now in this case it's saying, you know, the title is deleting phone records, but you can change what the information looks like with the stream editor. Once again, it's not saved until you redirect the output. So we've looked at cat zoo2, and that's what the file looks like. Now what this is doing is stream editor. Now -n means specifies the number of lines, okay, and we want to print out those lines. -e is specify multiple lines on a command, so it's sort of like run this command and this and this. So the -e is saying that, and then P prints the output and the D deletes. So what we're doing in this case is sed -n, and we're displaying the lines that are left. -e, lines 2 and 3 we're going to delete, so lions and camels. And then again we're going to then print the output of zoo2. So remember, cat zoo2. Okay, that's what it looks like. Sed -n to display those lines. -e to add a command. 2, 3 deletes lines 2 and 3, the middle two, lions and camels. Dash E adds command to print what's left of zoo 2. Now, the original file hasn't been changed. And what we can see here is that output of the first line and the last line with the middle two gone. Okay, so you'll use actually quite a bit of sed in this particular section. Now, creating shell functions. Shell functions is a group of commands that are stored in memory and assigned to a name. And the example being date now, and this is what that looks like. This is what it's called. The shell function is called. That's how you call it from the command prompt. And these are the commands within it. So if we look at the slide on this, what we're going to do is create the shell function called whoisIt, and then within whoisIt, these are the commands that are being ran. Okay, so we'll use vi to go ahead and edit the file, and we're going to call the file actually them. The first line in that file is is what you'll call the function by, and then within the squiggly brackets, all the commands within that file. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Now, vi them, and these are all the lines within that file already there. Once again, whoisIt is what we're going to call this. We're going to call the function by, and then these are the folks logged in, and the who-h shows the header information with those folks who are logged in. Let's quit out of this. Cat them k. Now, at the bottom it says the following line loads the functions. So there's a dot space them. That actually loads this file into memory. So we'll go dot space them. That loads the functions. So we should be able to type in whoisIt at this point. Okay, and that loaded the function. Remember, whoisIt was the command we called it by, and this was the function. Now, also what you can do with this is load this into your bashrc file. So if we cat.bashrc, and remember that's a login com file, then we can see at the very last line is dot space them. Okay, and so that's how you go ahead and run it at the end of that login command line, or that login com file. So that's how those functions are loaded, and then this is an example of that very example. So in this case, we have loading into the bashrc file dot space dot my functions. Okay, now the dot indicates that my functions is a hidden file. So what we saw with the bashrc and .them is simply not a hidden file. If it were, we would just add a dot in front of it. Following is a command summary of using test with all the command summary stuff. Test for a file, test for a directory, and some additional test commands. So -n test for a non-zero string length, -ne not equal to, and so we've done all of those. So that should complete chapter 7, and if you have questions, give me a holler, and thank you very much.